Everybody, let's go there. You anything, anything, anything. You want me everything, everything, everything. From a woman to me, you mean everything. My woman, hey. When I talk Sandra, I go be by you anything. Hey. First of all, make that longest time, sorry, ma. You get what I want your ask quickly. Why is nobody talking about the revelations of the confession? The English correct? sorry, ma. Sorry. Why not bother they talk about the things where people confess about Sandra Duru? I'm talking about Perfume Beke. Why is it not on channels? Why is it not on Arise? Why is it not on TVC? If you not see, I'm not me never see. You know, say for like 2 days now they protest, they drag Yagama Lizard. We don't know what they put for reward. Have they talked about it? If no, why this silence? The silence is deafening. So the extent that Akpabio was mentioned, Tinubu was mentioned in the second confession. The man brought receipts. Now be say, even this a cookie go do interview, they bring receipts and they pay. How come it's not everywhere? How come when the lie came outside, I was like wildfire? It was on all news channels. Perfume Beke was trending. Wicked people will go post key. Evil cohorts. All of you were so happy. How come? The real truth is that now and everybody is deaf and dumb. How go where deaf and dumb they serve go kill now? You don't like the truth or you don't like this truth. The truth there is exonerates Natasha from these grievous allegations. That one, there was no mention of Yoruba government bringing it down. Man attack Tinubu. I'm not sure that man know what Akpabio they do. There was nothing like that. That two, there was no mention of 200 million to pay Sandra. That three, she never called Nigerians gullible and hungry. Sandra only thought in her head, that's what they asked, so I can use them. And she put it forward and put Natasha name. Sandra, your ears got into two. Wicked woman. Witch. That's what I say you are. I don't know if you have addressed Mazio Bina. Did you see this in second video? Hey, things be happening. Let's not digress. I don't want to. What was I talking about? How come nobody is talking about these things? You people did not hear the part where she said, that part where she mentioned Obi, cause it's an ad that she mobilized Obi and to distract and then put the laughing sign. You did not hear everything. You did not hear Sandra's voice. Or everybody not the Chris. No one do that, so no hear. Help me trenches and tag all blogs. TVC, Arise, New Central, Silverbed. Why is nobody? You people, you're not journalists, or you don't want to expose this truth. Now lie must expose. Such a head be like can die kuna for neck. In this generation, we must see the end of all this madness. Oh yeah, set me as may you dance. Sandra Obase. Sorry ma. Shake yes. Idiots. Hungry, kill my mind.
At this time, everybody's heart is gladdened that by June 27, we will be receiving the judgment about Natasha's suspension. Philip, thank you for coming around.
Thank you very much.
Peter, thank you for staying back.
Thank you.
All right, a while ago, we were discussing a few issues that bothered them about, staying to the course, staying to your constitution, staying to the policies that guide you, that of National Assembly, their guidelines, and their, they have their rules, rules of the House and all that. I was just wondering if the rules eventually had any way of having a senator suspended beyond 14 days. And why not trying to preempt the court and the matters before the court? Do we think Natasha has taken a good lead in taking this case to the court? Philip Lawrence.
Thank you very much. You could have done better than what she had done. There are precedents. I remember the person of Senator Ovi Omo Agege that represented us Central in the 8th Assembly was suspended. He went to court to challenge his suspension, and the court said the House lacked such powers, and he was restored to the House. But unfortunately, this 10th Assembly still told the same line in the case of Natasha. The rules, like you said, people should stay within their boundaries. Yes. The rules of the Senate states that you can only suspend a member
for 14 days.
For 14 working days.
Yes.
Not even just 14 days. 14 working days means Monday to Friday and so. But, trying to abuse power, showing off that I'm in charge, Why? You can't do nothing. You suspended somebody indefinitely or for 6 months, whatever reason. What happened to her constituency?
Exactly.
Are they not part of Nigeria? So you will take this.
A fellow, somebody that was also voted just like me. You didn't employ me. I don't work for you.
It is her constituency that hired her.
I don't. And the way your people
pay her.
Yes.
The Nigerian money is being used to pay. It is the money of Kogi Central that they used to pay her because they hired her to work for them.
I mean, I see this colleague being able to gather the power to suspend you. It's a little bit ridiculous to me. I don't know the premise that rule was built on. You know, that of 14 days may be okay so that you can present your case. It's a little bit reasonable, you know, to show some element of order. But anything beyond that, I mean, what is the basis of a fellow legislator who was also voted like I am? I didn't write application to work for him. I'm not an employee under him. So I don't get it. How does that power work?
Everything is possible under the same Senate. It's not the same Senate that ratify removal of a governor by voice vote, or you ought to have two-thirds majority. I don't have an issue with suspending of Natasha if she has.
I mean, for a reasonable time.
Disobeyed constituted.
Okay.
My issue here is that they've gone beyond what is written. They've gone beyond their own laid down rules. This is suspended for 14 days. If she has broken the law, she should pay. But she cannot pay beyond what is stipulated in the act.
Okay, I will get back to you shortly. Philip, let me ask you. One of the things that engineered the suspension was gross misconduct. What kind of gross misconduct could a legislator, the place of Natasha, be guilty of now? That's such that you are going to suspend her indefinitely.
You see, that's why I'm happy that she went to court to challenge the suspension. Because how do you mean gross misconduct? How do you define
how do you interpret it?
You know, because you were meant to come to the Holo chamber to sit for the day business. And she came. And she got to the Holo chamber. Her seat has been, altered. And she raised an objection, or she raised an observation that, look, what has happened? Why am I removed without being notified? I think she's entitled to that. And the same person who is suspending her also has suffered same fate under the 7th, Senate, wherein, Dr. Bukola Saraki was the president. And he was given a fair hearing.
Was it 7th or 9th assembly?
It was 7th.
7th, okay, yes. 7th. Okay.
So when that happens, he apologized. He apologized because he found that he was being emotional.
Yeah.
So if Natasha had done something out of emotion, and if he had time, he had settled down to explain to Natasha, maybe Natasha would have also apologized, just like the way he apologized to,
Because himself was not in the 9th assembly. Yes, he wasn't in the 9th assembly.
I think it's 8th assembly.
Are you sure it's not even the 8th assembly? I think it's probably 8th assembly. I don't think it's 7th.
It's 8th assembly. So why taking such a drastic action when you've also walked through that before? And what?
Okay, let me come at what was a little bit interesting. The defense counsel, they accused Natasha of flouting the court order through the satirical apology that was published on the Facebook, and Natasha's lawyers said that they too had flattered an order, that even in their own case, they didn't flat any order because the satirical apology or response or letter was not about suspension from the house.
With the case.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the case. And were you happy that the judge didn't kind of give credence to that?
No, of course I was, and I'm happy that this judgment is coming in a few weeks' time. Because we need clarity on a lot of things. We need to know where the ban stands. But this tension has expanded the boundaries of everything. So this court now need to help us to define these boundaries. What's coming to suspend her on this misconduct for more than 14 days? I will keep hammering this. For more than 14 days, it's illegal. And again, she was in court. trying to stop her suspension. You were aware. You didn't even let it play out. You went ahead and suspended her. Do you want to get instead of of this?
Which you refuse to respect.
You refuse. And you went ahead and suspended her. Remember, that letter that I was out there that I meant to mock Senate President, they were demanding for apology.
Yeah.
They were demanding for it. And she responded the best way she could. Though it was comical, but
so Philip,
to do with the case.
I'll come back to you. When the defendant's lawyer were just trying to raise issues of Natasha flouting court order by the publication on her face with the satirical apology, do you think they were trying to buy time or divert attention or whatever? Or is that Lego gimmick?
Lawyers are full of a lot of,
games,
trick, gimmick when they're in the courtroom.
Yes.
When you have a bad case, one of the things you do as a lawyer is either to buy time or to file
too many unnecessary processes.
Motions.
Yes.
Motion for this, motion for that, so that at every court hearing there's a motion. Yeah. Storing the main case from going on.
Yes.
And that was the trick they came up with. Because that issue the raise of court content, so that the main case will not be tried. So they will look at
and the justice said, no, we're not moving.
Exactly.
We're not taking it for that.
Normal,
yes.
The practice of lawyer, their trademark. But the court were up to their games. We cannot preempt the court.
Certainly.
The matter is sub judice, so we can't discuss the matter. Yeah. Whether the suspension was
legal or not, we don't know yet.
We are not interested in that. What the question we asked and what we're interested in, what was the intention of the defense lawyer to come up with the issue of court content?
Yes.
I will agree with you that it's one of those games lawyers play in court. Because if that matter was taken, the main matter would
not be attended to.
So this celebration of, we're going to get judgment for defense, whichever way would have come up.
And we used to say that justice delayed can be justice denied.
We should give kudos to the justice that presided over the matter.
Yes.
She
was resolute.
Yes, she was resolute to say, look, there's no room for technicality here. We must go for fair hearing. Let's go for justice, and that's what she did.
Okay, Peter, like I was saying, just a while ago, that justice delayed can be justice denied, and we're just full of praise for this justice, Binta Nyako. But the public sometimes they do have their own trial right there in their heart. Yeah. Even when you say, this matter is before the court, let's not preempt the court. If for any reason the judgment doesn't go in the way of Senator Natasha, the way the public is praising Justice Binta Nyako for allowing this trial to get ahead, fixing a date for judgment, not allowing the business of games of pulling motions from one here and there to stall the case. Do you think the people will also praise her if for any reason the case doesn't go in the way of Senator Natasha?
There might be a backlash, but people want to know the reason why she has told, the party she told. If it goes against Natasha, I think most Nigerians want to know the reason why.
Certainly.
We want an explanation. We want to see a copy of the judgment. So based on that, we'll make the decision.
And we'll also learn from that.
For me, this judgment coming this soon.
Okay, Philip, time is against us. We are trying to be as short as possible in this case. Essentially, there is a very similar, because no case is exactly the same in a way, but a similar case like you cited in OVA, the one of OVA, and it's been tried before. If for any...
And there are other cases like that.
Yes. For any reason, this one goes in a different manner. What are you thinking is going to be the temperature from the society? Because to the larger spectrum, most people believe Natasha is being persecuted in some form.
Well, in the society we are today, they will react negatively, but whichever way the judgment goes on the 27th of June, both party has right of appeal. So, if in any case the Justice Binta Nyako decide to say, the action of the Senate is right, Natasha has right to appeal, certainly she will get backlash from the society. There's no doubt about that. Because there are matters, like I said, the matter is subject to we know to preempt the court.
Certainly.
So I wouldn't want us to go into that because the court has set a date aside to give judgment. So whatever it is, let's wait for the judgment, and whatever the judgment is, it is then we can analyze what the effect of the judgment will be. For now, we can't. No, we can't preempt.
We can't preempt it.
We are not going to, because whatever we say here now, we get to the judge. We are not trying to match pressure on the judge to go to one way or the other. So let's allow the.
Okay, certainly. What lesson would people learn from this? Because actually, it wasn't only the legal route that was available to Natasha. A lot of people have said, "Oh, why not take the political route? Go and meet Akpabio, call 2-3 persons, talk to," because it's always quick. You know, political solutions are always quicker. If they lock your account today, EFCC lock your account today, instead of you to go to court to challenge them, to let you know the offense you committed, before doing that, a lot of people say, why not just call them, talk to them and things like that. What lessons are people learning from this?
I think she took the right direction. But if you have gone for a political solution, who says it won't happen next month? Who says that 6 months down the line, she will be suspended again? Let's know that they have the power, they have the authority, on where they derive the power to do what they did. So this legal process she's taking, I think is the best thing she has done. And the lesson we will learn is based on judgment.
All right, because appeal and all this takes time, and like we discussed sometime here before, the time is not waiting for anybody. The tenure of the time for this 10th assembly is going to end by 2025. So 2027 rather. So eventually, as long as this appeal continues, her constituency might be losing out from full representation.
Yeah, that I know, but then there's a price we need to pay for our democracy. If it means she's sacrificing her time to get this right because of tomorrow, I think she's on the right path.
All right, Philip, just 30 seconds.
I think she has done the right thing, because we have to pursue justice.
And it has a cost.
And if Ovioma Agege, Senator Ovioma Agege, hadn't gone to court when he was suspended, if he had applied the political solution like you rightly suggested, we would have been making reference to it today. So if Natasha judgment comes tomorrow, we should be able to say that if it happened, because Nigerians, human beings are human beings, they will always do what they need to do. They will have more reference to make.
More precedence.
So I think she has taken the right step. You know, what the lesson we should take home, Nigerians should take home is this: always learn to fight for your right.
Right, no matter how long.
No matter how. Fight
because
for
you are creating precedents for people following you.
When you slip over your right, you will be taken for granted. But if you are known for fighting for your right, people will give you your space and they will stay by their boundaries.
All right.